Welcome to another of our Getting to Know Folk Around Clare LNE videos and podcasts. And hopefully our guest today doesn't need any introduction. Our moderator, Janet MacKellar, is with me today. Welcome to you, Janet. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine. Yep, delighted to be here.
And you've been moderator for 3 months or so now. Enjoying it?
Thoroughly enjoying it. Yep.
What would be a highlight from your moderatorial time so far?
Well, I think that's a difficult question, Donald, because that's a bit like being asked to choose the Easter egg, decorated Easter egg on a Sunday morning in the church. Everything has been absolutely amazing. I mean, we have such a wonderful presbytery and such amazing people doing amazing things. And when you're moderator, you get to see those amazing things in bucket loads, really. And so I suppose the highlight has been, I guess, or one of the highlights has been going round seeing some of those places and people with our moderator, the General Assembly, Rosie Frew. That was an absolute joy to host Rosie's visit and to share with her some of the wonderful places and people that we have. And I have to say, on a personal note of that trip, standing in Tobermory Parish Church Hall as the choir struck up singing Aileen Mulloch was for me a personal highlight because I have strong links to Mull, and it was just beautiful.
Fantastic. As well as presbytery, you're kept busy with other things. Tell us a wee bit about the day job, Janet.
Okay, so for the last 25 years, I have run a charity that is based in Dunoon and Rothesay called Help. And it's a charity that supports young people who are 16 to 25 years of age, who are either homeless, in threat of homelessness, or coming out of care. It was born out of a concern that the local housing manager had in 1999 that she was handing keys to young people of 16 years of age. They had no family support, and that she would probably be taking those keys back off them again in 6 months' time because they hadn't been able to move into their tenancy, they hadn't been able to get furniture for it, they hadn't been able to pay for it, and so on. And so Help was born. And so we've been supporting young people throughout with housing, with employability, and with health and well-being. We learned early doors that a roof over your head is essential, but in order to keep that roof over your head, you need to get into employment. In order to get into employment, you need to feel good about yourself. And a lot of these young people have suffered trauma in their early lives and don't always feel particularly good about themselves. And so our kind of service, if you like, fell into 4 pillars: housing, skills development, health and well-being, and information and advice. And so that's kept my time for 25
years. Keeps you busy between presbytery services,
that is indeed
business committee meetings and ministry and mission, which
absolutely
you've been convening.
Yep, absolutely.
We're looking forward to the conference coming up next week, Wednesday, the 10th of September. I hope all the presbytery members that are planning to be there have registered, either to be there at Strathpeffer Pavilion or online on Zoom. But we've got a good full programme organised for the day. What are you particularly looking forward to, Janet?
Well, I'm really looking forward to Tommy McNeil, our keynote speaker and facilitator. I think Tommy has a lot to offer us by way of of inspiring and challenging us. And I'm looking forward to that unique opportunity for people to actually talk about mission, and to share and to network, and to hear what Tommy has to say as convener of Faith Action Leadership Programme.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that too. And we'll also be linking up with Malawi for the formal launch of the Zomba Theological University Scholarship, which Presbytery has been supporting. I think we're around about the £3,000 mark. Do you want to tell us a wee bit more about that project, Janet?
Yes, well, that like lots of these things was born out of a conversation. Ken Ross, who's our mission partner in Zomba and is a professor at Zomba University, was visiting Argyll, and he and I were having a conversation. I was naturally saying, from a presbytery perspective, what can we do to support you in your work? And we got round to this conversation about how do people in Malawi fund doing a master's degree? How does that, how does that happen? Because I could imagine being quite difficult. He said, yes, it was difficult, and those people who undertook that course would become leaders in the future within their communities. But yes, it was tricky. And then as we talked about master's degrees, and I'm thinking it's about £10,000 in Scotland, and he said for the entire course, including accommodation, IT equipment, etc., would be around £3,000. And that would take somebody, and I thought that has got to be doable. I calculated that with the congregations that we have in Clare LNE, if every congregation were to give £20, then we would easily meet that 3,000 commitment. And so there began the conversation. I took it to the business committee, who were fully enthusiastic about it. We took it to Presbytery, who were equally enthusiastic about it. And we designated the Day of Pentecost as our Malawi Scholarship Day. And a number of congregations undertook fundraising on those days. And the result is that we have just short of the £3,000. But we do have a collection at our service in Strathpeffer the night before, when Presbytery will be beginning to gather, and we're going to have a retirement collection there, which we hope will take us to our target figure. And so Ken and also one of the folks from the Malawi, the Zomba University, are going to come online, and we're going to officially launch the opportunity. And so it's really exciting, because I think it's one, supporting our mission partner, it's continuing the long-standing relationship between Scotland and Malawi, but it's also recognising that David Livingstone's family came from Clare LNE originally, and so we are very much part of that whole story, and we're continuing that story going forward.
Yeah, fantastic. Looking forward to that link up with Malawi on Wednesday. Also at the conference, Paul Beautyman, who's doing some consultancy, helping us in our work with younger people, particularly the under 40s. And Paul will be with us on Wednesday afternoon. So a very full programme, for lots more things happening as well. We'll be hearing about the Guilds Together groups and so on. But a few other things around the presbytery that we should be letting you know about. Following a change in legislation at General Assembly this year, there's the Vacancy Procedure Act has been superseded by a new act they call Elect and Appointment of of parish ministers. I think that's the title of the Act. I'm sure folk will continue to call it the Vacancy Act. But one of the things that it requires is that the Vacancy Procedure Committee is a standing committee of presbytery. And so rather than being part of the M&M committee, which Janet has been convening, it is now a standalone committee. Officially, that will be endorsed on Wednesday. And Douglas Allen, an elder in the Argyll area, has agreed to convene that for us. So the vacant congregations can be liaising with Douglas. And there is a dedicated vacancy procedure email address, and I'll see that that's in the description down below for folk. Just yesterday, confirmation of an event that is being organised by Ruth Kennedy and others. Ruth is the Digital Ministries advisor. And on Wednesday, the 1st of October, there's to be a day event enabling digital ministries. And that's going to be happening at Aviemore, St Andrew's Church, Aviemore, and also online. And that's open to everyone around Presbytery and indeed beyond, whether in person or online, to explore digital ministry. Janet, we're in interesting, difficult times for the Kirk in this stage of its life, but lots of really exciting things going on as well. What are some of your hopes for Clare LNE and for the Church of Scotland?
Well, I took for a theme, if you like. It's not normal, I don't think, for the moderator of a presbytery to take a theme. It's normal for a normal practice for the moderator of the General Assembly to take a theme. But I took for my theme, "We Are One," and I took it from Jesus' prayer for the people that would come after him, that they would be one. And that's my hope, that we will work together as a presbytery, as one, like the early church, with everything in common, working together as a people of God here in this place. And I think if we do that with that common purpose, then I think there is bright times ahead, because I think one of the things that always concerns me, my first job was in sales and marketing. And I spent 9 years working for a local pottery manufacturer and travelling all over Scotland. And one of my things is that we're always about the negative in the press. We're always hearing about buildings closing, which I know, believe me, I know is a very difficult and painful situation. I come from a small village. I can still go to the same church where I was baptised, where I became an elder. I totally understand what those connections mean to people. But in terms of the press, we get this negative, people are not going to church, things are not happening. It's all kind of, it's just not a thing for today, and that's just simply not the case. And I think I was actually at a meeting yesterday of the new directions that our national church are discussing. And it's very much about that positive profile that we need to be putting out there. We need to be doing a national campaign that is positive. And I know in our presbytery, we ask people to come and bring their good news story. And that's really important, because there are so many good news stories. And we need to share those with people. So my hope is that we will be a positive people, and that we'll be promoting the good news story that is the greatest story of all.
Absolutely. I look forward to meeting up with you, Janet, on Wednesday, and fellow presbytery members. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you in the rest of your moderatorial year. Thank you very much indeed.
and thanks for this opportunity. And can I just also say we do have the moderator's visit for 5 days. So there will be a programme of that going out on our social media. And if anyone wants to know more about it, then please get in touch with us, because it would be lovely to see you at one of these places to come along and meet the moderator, and I'll be there too. So it'd be lovely to see folk in person.
Fantastic. And you'll get details of all that's going on around the Presbytery, cei.presbytery.org.uk. God bless you all.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you, Janet.